My name is Stefan Chapman, and I am the Vice President at Euro Petroleum Consultants. We are an independent consultancy active in the oil, gas, and petrochemical sectors. And we are also the organizers of the upcoming ESF MENA event, which is a new regional conference following the success of our inaugural ESF Energy Sustainability Forum, which was held in a virtual format earlier this year. So by focusing on decarbonisation and sustainability in the downstream industry, ESF MENA will support the collaborations, the discussions and the development of a sustainable energy future in which the Middle East downstream industry continues and will play a leading role in. So today I'm very honoured to have one of the forum's keynote speakers, Mr. Leon de Bruyn. Leon is the president and the CEO of Lummus Technology. Lummus Technology are a leading technology licensor with a big focus on reinventing the industry and driving the energy transition forward. So we're delighted to be able to catch up with him today ahead of the conference with the aim to discuss on some of the key topics facing our industry in its journey to a more sustainable future. So Leon, a very warm welcome to you. Hope all is well on your end.
Thank you, Stefan. It's wonderful to be here. Thank you for taking the time to sit down with me and go through some of the key questions. I'm delighted to be here with you and I look forward to the full event.
Thank you very much, Leon. It's great to be here with you today. If I may, I'd like to dive into our first discussion point. So over the last few months, we've witnessed many of the Middle East producers begin their pivot to sustainability. That is including some exciting project announcements. So in your opinion, how well positioned is the region to adapt, and what do you believe are the main opportunities available for the region by reducing its carbon emissions?
Yeah, so in my opinion, the Middle East is extremely well suited to not just adapt, but actually make a difference in the world. The last 2 decades, the Middle East has shown a significant focus on reshaping the energy industry, not just in the Middle East, but actually with all the trades on a global basis. And on top of that, there's a lot of local capabilities, there's a lot of knowledge and partnerships that Middle Eastern companies, operators have. So from my perspective, they have the ingredients to roll out what I would call the energy transition using the infrastructure that's in place. And Stefan, of course, having strong assets on the ground also allows a lighter asset-based investment approach, using the existing assets and repurpose them or tune them as opposed to starting from a green field. So in my opinion, the Middle East is a logical driver in the energy transition.
Yes, I fully agree. I think they're in a great position to take on this transition and to move it forward. And to follow up on that, we know they're big hydrocarbon producers. So how do you think the GCC can find a complementary role for liquid fuels and build their options for the future with, like you said, the assets they already have in place?
Yeah, so for the next few decades, natural resources are going to be a key part of feeding our energy demands. And so for us together, it's the question, how do we best utilize those natural resources? How do we enhance efficiency? And what I see, especially in the GCC countries, is the opportunity to focus more on crude to chemicals, using the natural resource like crude oil more efficiently towards the ultimate demanded petrochemical products. And so crude to chemicals is obviously still in its early stages, but is a fantastic way to maximize the yield of chemicals on crude. So that's one direction. The second is there's a lot of methane co-produced or produced in the exploration, and monetizing on that methane gas is, I think, going to be a key part of better utilization of our energy resources. So as you know, we have our Siluria technology that captures the methane and then converts it profitably towards ethylene, propylene, some other petrochemical products. And monetizing on this methane means that you use a natural resource more efficiently, and also you displace the need for other resources to make the ethylene propylene. Just two examples, and there's going to be a multitude of solutions that all will work together, whether it's blue hydrogen, green hydrogen, ammonia, and fantastic projects announced just recently, Stefan, as you know. So all these solutions are going to work together, and as long as we have the open mind to look at multiple solutions, I think we will get there together.
Yeah, I think it'll be important to select the right solution for the right project, for the right site. I think it'll be important to look at all those different aspects. I'd like to turn our attention a little bit more towards yourselves, to Lummus Technologies and your role within our industry. So last year, Lummus announced that it had formed a new business entity called Green Circle, and this was to concentrate and expand capabilities and capture new opportunities with regards to energy transition and circular economy. So what sets Green Circle apart as a leading technology licensor for the decarbonization of refinery and petrochemical assets?
Yes, Stefan. So just earlier this year, as you know, we celebrate our first year of independence. When we started Lummus in its new state just over a year ago, we thought about how can we make a difference, what sets us apart now that we're a new entity. And one of the things that we believe strongly in is there's going to be major challenges and opportunities. The energy transition, obviously one, but there's more to that. And we believe that we have a role to play with our technology, process technology, catalyst technology, equipment, all the knowledge that we have, and the strong footprint we have across the globe as we work with our clients and our partners. But we also realize that we have to rethink our operating model. So when we established Green Circle, we felt that we were creating a platform through which not only our inventions and process technologies are brought to market, but also we can see others, whether it's partners, our operator clients, or other partners that we see in the industry, catalyst companies, new R&D centers. They can leverage our platform and bring their technologies to market as well, and sort of work hand in hand with us, leveraging our infrastructure. So Green Circle is to bring new technologies to market that make a difference in the energy transition, either invented by Lummus or invented by others and using the Lummus infrastructure. And as you have seen recently, we announced a collaboration with Energy Internet Corporation, where a technology to produce zero carbon power for data centers is brought to market, capitalizing on the Lummus process technology knowledge, but an invention made by others. And it's a fantastic example where we leverage a platform in our Lummus infrastructure to a greater good.
Yeah, I totally agree that the licensors have definitely a key role to play. Also, something that you've mentioned numerous times in your answer, collaboration with different sectors, different companies. And it's something that ties into our next question, and something also that was mentioned a lot during our inaugural ESF event, and that's the importance of collaboration. With this in mind, how can the Middle East producers support the development and scale up of low carbon technologies through customer and supplier collaboration?
Yeah, so in order to do this rapidly, Stefan, we have to fast track what we've been doing in traditional energy solutions. Fast tracking means we have to test it in laboratories, pilot plants, fast enough so that they can be invested in the very short term. So the collaboration allows us to deploy our laboratories, our R&D center, for instance, in Pasadena, Texas, and test some of the investment theses that our customers have, and using some of the new techniques or innovations that are out there to help our customers. So this collaboration, I think, is going to be crucial in faster adoption of new solutions, new innovations, and also testing them on a smaller scale before they are brought to market at a commercial scale. And a lot of companies have a lot of capabilities, but I don't think everybody has this by themselves. So this collaboration, as you rightly said, I use that word a lot because I firmly believe that by collaboration we can come up with better solutions and fast track them to commercial state.
Yeah, and it's something that's relatively new, I would say. It's refreshing to see the willingness of different partners, even between different licensors, this collaboration, because this is a big challenge, but also a big opportunity for our industry in the coming years. And this leads me also onto another topic, which is an important topic, and we've been hearing a lot about it in the media and within the industry, and that is something you've mentioned: circular economy. We've seen a number of companies adopt high-yield circular economy strategies. In your opinion, what do you believe are the tangible next steps needed for large-scale implementation, which is, an important step to take? What needs to happen? And do you believe that the MENA region is on track?
Yes, Stefan. So there has to be a few things that need to be put in place. And let me start with the MENA region. So I see several countries in the Middle East that have already set up concrete steps towards their vision of a green site, green investments. There's examples that you and I know where governments push hard to create the opportunity and the infrastructure. And I think that is one of the key elements. Governments need to support it with facilities, infrastructure, a vision, and financial means to push the green and the circular economy. Now, that is one. Second, there's hundreds of inventions out there, and we need to bundle them such that they make sense, that they can be tried and true quickly and brought to concrete commercial state. As you know, we are doing this with waste plastics recycling, where we have our Lummus New Hope waste plastics recycling, which is in operation already in Texas for a few years. And that is something that can be implemented quickly, but that also needs the third element, and that is a co-state with existing infrastructure. We can do the circular economy not without also making sure that we use the existing assets. As I mentioned in my earlier answer, the existing assets play a crucial role in pivoting towards the circular economy. So having the petrochemical sites already in place allows us to co-locate circular solutions such as waste plastics. So these three elements, the government push, the vision, of course, the commercialization by technology companies, operators, and then the co-location with the existing infrastructure are going to be key ingredients. And then the last point that I did want to mention, Stefan, is there has to be a solution to the complex logistics of whatever is circulated. Waste plastics seem easy because there's a lot of plastics kept in recycling, but it's not so easy to bring them to one location, then mechanically or chemically recycle them. And there's a lot of other circular products, I would say, that have challenging logistics on the feedstock side. So that is, I think, the fourth and maybe the more complex of those four elements.
Thank you very much, Leon. Coming to our last question. It's not an easy one. Peering into the crystal ball, as we say, in a time that is characterized by all this uncertainty and all this change, what do you think the 2030 refiner or petchem producer in the region, in the Gulf region, will look like? And what do you believe are the big ticket items that we are likely to see our industry invest in the coming decade? Not an easy question.
Not an easy question, but when you answer such a question, Stefan, you always think about what makes sense and what are the strengths that are going to drive decisions. So what makes sense is the first principles, how we design, operate plants, the economical principles, they are going to sustain no matter what. So whatever we decide now, between now and the 2030 timeframe, has to make sense economically and technically. And then the strengths that we have in our industry, we have a fantastic knowledge base. We have the most brilliant people, scientists, engineers, operators working together. And they can figure this out. They will figure this out within the first principles and the economic optimization. And then, you think about the other strengths. Our energy infrastructure, especially in the Middle East and North Africa, is very well developed. And we can work together to use those assets to gradually but surely make them, what I would say, ready for sustainability, or implement sustainability faster if we can. I don't believe in moving all that aside and start from scratch, because those assets have a purpose, they have a value, they have a meaning, and they can actually be utilized, deployed in a great way for the next few decades. So how do we transform those purposes? And to answer your question, I think refiners, petrochemicals are going to look at what do we have in terms of assets, how can we better utilize them, not just processing traditionally, but also with the future in mind, lower carbon footprint, of course, in an economical way, address the solutions that the energy transition needs. And perhaps there's going to be more technologies to repurpose existing assets. And I know you have been following some of these trends where we are taking a cat cracker, repurpose them away from gasoline towards petrochemicals. Mm-hmm. It's a great example that's already in place, and gradually but surely we are rolling this out across the world. Hydrocrackers have been historically machines to make clean fuels, clean diesel. I see those hydrocrackers still operate, but perhaps moving away from only clean diesel to produce cracker feedstocks that will then make their ways into cracker sites. And there's quite a few examples of that already now. So by 2030, I'm convinced there will be a few in place. And then on the petrochemical side, the question is, how do we make sure we retain all the valuable molecules and don't waste molecules? So methane recirculation through recombination reactions are going to matter. We have to focus more on high yield of products, on feeds. So the efficiency of production is going to matter. And then, of course, also reducing carbon footprint by electrification, hydrogen coal-fed firing, or other smart solutions to minimize carbon footprint. All of that will be rolled out and more. And all of that will be rolled out in the context of what makes sense economically, technically, and how do we best utilize the assets that are already on the ground and add to that what we're going to invest in.
Yes, I think that highlights exactly what's going to happen and what we're looking forward to. I mean, our industry over the years has always, risen to the challenges, has always found the solutions. Like you say, there's the know-how, there's already assets in place that will be able, through flexibility and efficiency, to treat different feedstocks, do different products. So I think it's going to be interesting times ahead, and I'm sure that with all the players in the industry, I think we will be moving towards this energy transition at a great pace, but also efficiently and with success.
I agree, Stefan. And it's just wonderful that you and I have the opportunity to witness and contribute to implementing some of this. It's really humbling that we're actually playing a significant role in and witnessing what's happening out there in the world.
Yeah, I totally agree. So it's come to the end of our chat. So I'd like to thank you very much for your time today, Leon, and also thank you, Lummus Technology, for supporting ESF and also ESF MENA, but also ESF earlier in the year. We much appreciate that. I look forward to continuing the discussion with you at ESF MENA, which will take place later on in the year, hopefully in person, fingers crossed. Until then, I wish you a great summer, and in the meantime, stay safe and stay well, and thank you very much again for your time today.
Likewise, Stefan. Good luck. Cheers.
Thank you very much. Thanks a lot, Leon. Bye. Thanks.